So your dad won 2 national championships here?
Yeah.
You won 1.
And he always reminds me of that. That's the big deal.
Maybe get another one as a coach.
Exactly
or 2,
right.
Then you can still have
I got to. I have to, because he always reminds me, you won 1, but I have 2. I have 2 rings, so.
How's it like coming back as the OC now?
Unbelievable. It's been an adventure. It's been a lot of fun, but family's really excited. You know, it's like I said, my dream wasn't ever to go play in the NFL. I wasn't ever big enough. My dream was to play at the University of Oklahoma and be a football coach. And then the ultimate dream was to be coach at the University of Oklahoma. And it's amazing how all the different stops going around and a lot of different journeys along the way, but you know, it's a blessing being back, you know, and being able to continue to live out my dreams and my goals and have an opportunity at a place like this is special.
So you're still close to your father. What are some of the lessons you learned from him about fatherhood, being a man?
You know, character, humility. You know, that was something always big growing up with him. Understanding your roots, where you came from, was always important. You know, when there was opportunities on a Saturday, whether it was a wrestling tournament, you know, he was going to find a way to get there.
That's cool.
He may have not been there for every single practice or anything like that, but you know, the games and the moments that he was there. And you know, same with my mom. You know, they were very supportive, and I was blessed. I had an unbelievable home life, and you know, I was taught about God at an early age, and you know, that having that, you know, be a part of me in an early life really helped me throughout the rest of my life. And I'm not saying it was perfect, but that foundation was important.
Yeah.
He also knew that, you know, growing up in a small town, Muskogee, Oklahoma, that a lot of people were going to always be on me, like, you know, because my dad played for 2 national championships, so he knew there was always going to be a lot of pressure on me to, you know, is he going to be able to play for Oklahoma, or is he going to be the next one? And so he was a guy that never put pressure on me. He always told me, you know, live out your dreams, live out your goals. If that's your goals, if that's your dreams, you know, we can accomplish that. But if it's not, do what makes you, you know, find your passions, and whatever that is, let's go get after it. You know, it wasn't like he was forced me to play football or, you know, forced me to do anything. It was very supportive, and that's what I want for my kids, you know, both of my kids. I want them to be passionate about whatever that is, and then, you know, when we find out what that is, I want you to get after it and go after it.
No doubt.
And you know, I'm gonna help you accomplish all your dreams, goals, and aspirations, but we're gonna have to work for it. But until we find that passion, let's have fun.
What's your favorite part about being a dad?
Man, I think just being around those 2 every single day, you know, the joys they have in life, you know, the ups and downs, you know, it's kind of like being a coach, you know, just seeing their successes. There's nothing that makes me more happy.
No doubt.
Puts more of a smile on my face when, you know, they achieve something, and then being able to help them when they don't, you know, when there's life's tough, or when adversity hits, being able to coach them through it. But they've been a blessing.
I think every parent's worst nightmare is losing a child. And I know you guys didn't lose a child, but you were faced with that possibility when your wife was pregnant with your oldest. Just kind of take us through that season of life. What happened? 2
weeks before Trip was born, for whatever reason, we had to have another, I don't know if it's a sonogram or echo or with Becca. As we were in there, the nurse was kind of quiet a little bit, and you know, when she wrapped up and she was finished, she was like, well, we'll get back to you. So we knew something immediately wasn't right. The doctor called us later on that afternoon and said Trip had transposition, which is his 2 main arteries in his heart were flipped. And so it's pumping the blue blood to the body and the red blood to the lungs. And so obviously immediately you're freaked out. You know?
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, told us he would have to have open heart surgery. You know, within the first week, if possible. And man, it was a really scary thing, you know, and looking back, we were blessed we found out 2 weeks before, because we were actually going to deliver at a different hospital that would not have been prepared.
So then this was when you were born. So they intubated you immediately, which that's like your breathing tube. This is the first time your dad held you, because see, I didn't get to hold you for like 5 hours because you weren't breathing when you were born. So they, took you immediately to the NICU, and we finally got to go in there. But then Dad got to hold you.
After the first night, about a day later, we go back in. He was supposed to have surgery at some point that week. We go back in and find out that Tripp was starting to have seizures. I don't know if he wasn't getting enough oxygen. And so started having seizures, and then they came back and said he had had a stroke. Affected both sides of the brain, may affect his limbs, may affect his legs or his arms, may not be able to walk. After that, a couple days later, they came back and said, well, we possibly may have read the MRI wrong. Maybe it's going to affect maybe more fine motor skills. I think the neurosurgeon that came in and kind of read his charge, said, this is going to be a long journey. And because of the stroke, he wasn't able to have the surgery the first week. And so I think we were in a hospital for about a week and a half, and they sent him home. They sent him home with us to let his kind of body heal. He'd been through a lot, and said, honestly, I think they sent us home saying, we're going to give you a week to spend with your child, and we'll do the surgery when you get back.
We only stayed home for a week, and then we went back, and this was your surgery day. And it was crazy because you had surgery on May 6th, 3 weeks after you were born, and it was National Prayer Day. And it was crazy because I was just reading in there where I wrote down about you having heart surgery, and it was supposed to be like a 6-hour surgery, and it was a 10-hour surgery because they said at first your heart was not responding at all. And then all of a sudden, it started responding vigorously. And so they always said that Dr. Teodori, he was your surgeon, that he never gave up on you and you never gave up on him. And then Juju and Nana used to sing they would turn on the worship music and just blare it in the hospital room. And they're we're just praising the Lord for someday when he's going to be able to run and jump and play.
I'll never forget, I don't know, maybe this is, I guess, the grace of God upon Beck and I. Right off their room, we had a little room. We were kind of all in. So we had kind of a separate room right off the room. And Beck and I sit down in a chair probably around, I don't know, 1 or 2 a.m., and we both fell asleep. And our parents sit over Tripp and prayed over Tripp all night. And, but I guess God gave us, just gave us the strength of just going to sleep, just knowing that we had prayed on them and gone through it. And that was a blessing. Woke up the next day and we'd made it through that, kind of that 12-hour period, and the next 12-hour period, and then it's every 12 hours from then on for the next couple of months. There was a lot of days to where you got bad news, or maybe we're worried about an infection in the lungs, or at one point they told we had to call our parents one morning and say, you need to get back up here. They don't know if he's going to make it through the day. And so through all those ups and downs, God always gave us some type of positive through all the negative. There was never a day to where we didn't have a positive through our prayer. But it was definitely one of those things to where you're not in control. It builds a lot of faith. What am I doing right there? Checking my own heart?
I just remember you're at this point, we should probably just be, I feel like we're doctors. And I think you thought you were. My favorite thing throughout all that Seth did that just was so impressive as like a father and with your faith is the doctor that was your neurologist at the time. He was very just into the scientific part of it all and didn't really believe in, miracles and power of prayer. And he did not have the best bedside manner at all. He was like so matter of fact. And he just was like saying all this negative that was gonna be. Like, there's no way that could be, he just didn't believe that you were gonna get better at all or anything. And your dad looked at him and said, listen, I believe in a God who can do anything. And I know that I've prayed for this, and there are tons of other people praying for this. And I believe that his brain is gonna be completely restored, and he will be healed. So if you believe in the God I believe in, you'll believe that too. I mean, and you said it so direct to him.
My bedside manners weren't.
Everybody going through something, always. Everybody just going through stuff, and a lot of dads watching today, probably not going through exactly what you and your family went through, but going through something different, man. If you could just maybe challenge or encourage a guy that's struggling right now or going through some stuff, man, how would you encourage a father today?
I think the first thing is faith. I mean, trust and believe and know that God is with you, even when we don't think he is, even when things aren't there, even when we don't know when that blessing's gonna come. Continue the faith, continue praying, continue finding his word and finding his promises through the word and leaning upon that and holding him to his word and praying over that. I think for me it was Psalms 91. I prayed that over Trip every single day in the hospital. It was something that my grandma, it was a verse of hers and my mom's growing up that just popped in my head when he was going through that. And I think the second thing is being vulnerable, open up. Being able to talk to your spouse, being able to talk to family, being able to talk to a friend, being able to talk to a counselor. I think sometimes as men we feel like we have to control everything. We have to be strong. We have to be the leader. Be vulnerable. Just open up. It takes a village. We can't do it on our own. We're not in control. As soon as we figure that out, I think the easier it is to become more faithful and more reliant upon. We all need help at times, and so without the support of my family, without the support of my wife or mentors, counselors, coaches, pastors, we would have never got through it.
It was all such a miracle, just seeing what God can do and how many people that I didn't even know and you didn't even know were praying for you, and just following. And I mean, just so many people just flooded us with care, and like we said, it took a village. And I'm just forever grateful of the miracles that God did. And I would say if there's one thing that you taught me, it was just to have unwavering faith and to keep getting up and believing that God was going to heal you and that you were going to be a miracle.